reports of strange creatures in the area.
Witnesses say they couldn't believe what they were seeing.
Welcome, beloved fofers, doubters, naysayers, non-believers, and skeptics. Welcome to Paranormal Fable or Fact. I am Victor Trevino, joined by my co-host and beautiful wife, Tammy.
We are your humble guides to tales of alleged hoaxes, unbelievable stories, and the overall strange.
Sweet. If you want to be on the show, send us an email at pfableorfact@proton.me. Our Facebook, YouTube, the rules, and the rules for debunkers are in the show notes. Like, give us a good review, hit the notification bell, and for love of all that is holy, subscribe.
Yep.
So the gist, baby. Mirror folklore is what we're going to be talking about. The show is called Mirror Mirror.
Nice.
Yeah, play on the Mandela Effect show that we did.
Right.
But folklore pertaining to mirrors is a broad category of beliefs, myths, and superstitions centered around the mysterious properties of reflections, often involving the idea of souls and spirits being trapped inside. Common themes include breaking a mirror, bringing 7 years of bad luck. We've all heard of that.
Yes.
That's superstition. Covering mirrors during illnesses to prevent souls from getting trapped. Using mirrors for divination. Using mirrors to reflect negative intentions back upon your enemies or protection from evil, and even the legendary figure of Bloody Mary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're actually going to discuss her. These traditions vary by culture, with mirrors playing roles in many different cultures' folkloric practices. We are going to discuss the different beliefs, historical folkloric uses of mirrors. Two things that fascinated me about this, baby, of why I wanted to do it, is the variance of how many cultures believe in this stuff, have something to do mostly with mirrors, but sometimes just reflections in general. Like they'll use like pools of water or crystal balls and stuff like this, something reflective.
Yeah.
Right? Some of these cultures are separated by thousands of miles. Some of them are separated by thousands of years, yet they still believed very similar things, and that just fascinates me.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So there has to be something to it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the other thing is modern divination, because most people think, it's we don't do that nonsense anymore, but we do, and we'll discuss it in detail.
Okay.
So moving on. Now, high-quality glass mirrors were invented in the 15th and 16th centuries. I'm not sure why. When I looked it up, I kept getting that. Between the 15th and 16th century, so I guess they didn't, lock down the exact date or whatever, or the exact inventor, but the thing is mirrors made from polished obsidian, baby, date back to like 6,000 years ago.
Wow.
It's nuts.
That's crazy.
So people have been wanting to look at themselves for a very long time.
That's so crazy. I would have never thought that long ago.
In Greek mythology, we know the story of Narcissus, who stares at his reflection and falls so helplessly in love with himself that he slowly dies, unable to look away from himself.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah.
So even back then, baby, and Greek mythology is dated to like thousands of years ago.
Right.
In Persian folklore, this is the next red flag, and these are more like just... these are the examples of the different cultures, because there's no inarguable truths in this one.
Oh, okay.
We're just discussing this folklore.
Yeah.
In Persian folklore, there's a simple spell that reveals ghosts in a mirror by standing in front of it. Standing in front of a mirror, brushing your hair, and basically without thinking, speaking, or moving. So you basically kind of empty your mind, and you just kind of slowly brush your hair and just don't move in front of the mirror long enough, and you'll summon a spirit. Is this Persian spell?
Oh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Moving on to the next one, and we talked about this a little bit in the intro. It is believed that mirrors should be covered in sick rooms because when the soul is in a weakened state, it is more vulnerable to possession during illness. And of course, mirrors are looked at as portals, etc.
Right.
So they say there shouldn't be no mirrors, and if there are mirrors in the sick room, they should be covered. And I was thinking about it really carefully, baby. If you notice hospital rooms, they don't have mirrors in them.
They don't.
They don't.
Yeah,
the mirror's
they
in the
don't.
bathroom.
Yeah, that's true.
And the bathroom's separate from the room.
Yeah, the room.
So I don't know if, that was just something I noticed.
Don't they cover the mirrors during funerals too back in the day?
Yeah, because it was believed that the soul could get trapped in the mirror.
Right.
Instead of going to heaven or wherever it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
In other folklore, mirrors are believed to reflect the soul, and it must be guarded lest the soul be lost. We were just talking about this.
Yeah.
These fears carry over into superstitious customs, such as covering the mirrors in the house after death to prevent the souls of the living from being carried off by a ghost of the newly departed through the mirror.
Wow.
So, exactly. That's basically what I was just talking
Yeah, yeah.
So moving on.
I jumped the gun.
Even the Muslim folklore has something to do with mirrors, baby. It is believed by some in the Muslim religion that jinn are afraid of their own reflections, since they don't want to see their true nature reflected back at them. Because remember, jinn are made of smokeless flame. So it's believed that if they see the reflection in a mirror, they'll be terrified and leave. They'll be repelled by their own reflection. It's also believed by some, and I don't know how prominent this is. It might be like just a few, a real small percentage, but it's what's written. So some even believe that you can use a mirror with certain rituals in Muslim beliefs or certain prayers, and you can actually trap a jinn in the mirror.
Oh.
Kind of like that Dybbuk box with the Jewish religion, the Dybbuk box where you can stick a evil spirit in there and trap it in there.
Yeah.
So I guess the Muslims have their own belief that pertains to a mirror, apparently.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Isn't one of the red flags that universally break a mirror 7 years bad luck?
7 years bad luck, yes, exactly. And that's just this. I thought that was just superstition here in the United States, but no, it's all over, baby. Yeah. It is a universally belief that if you broke a mirror, you would be cursed.
Yeah, I'm really surprised because I really thought it was just the United States. So I know another red flag is if a child breaks a mirror, it is believed that another child in the family will die within that year.
Yeah, which is really freaky when you think about it.
It's spooky.
I originally thought that, the full-length mirrors, you don't see those very often anymore. I don't know if it had something to do with that. I don't know. I don't know where that folklore came from, but it's not just the mirror being broken will give you bad luck. If a child breaks a mirror, another child in that family line will die within a year. That's the belief. Yeah. It's pretty crazy, I mean, it could be just coincidence because children had a very low survival rate, like way back when,
Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
If there is any paranormal activity in a home, mirrors in the bedroom should never be placed at the foot or head of a bed. To do so is considered a negative influence for a person to be able to see him or herself from any angle in a mirror while in bed. Mirrors should also never reflect into each other, as this creates an unstable psychic space. You've seen that, right? Have you ever seen that where you see two mirrors and it looks weird? It's got that infinity thing going on.
Yeah.
It's so creepy. I remember we had a medicine cabinet when if you opened it just perfectly towards the main mirror in the bathroom,
right,
you could look into the medicine cabinet and see like this endless void that went around with I don't even know how many hundreds and hundreds of mirrors.
Right.
And it just trailed off into like this infinity point into just darkness, and it was so that's what they're talking about. This it creates like an imbalance in the energy, and you should never have mirrors reflecting into each other because you can cause an unstable
that's
effect.
Interesting. That is I do remember, like when I was little, I would try to figure that out, like keep looking at it.
That's crazy because it looks so weird.
It does.
I haven't seen something like that in years because these newer houses don't really have medicine cabinets like they did, or they open away from the mirror.
Opposite of the mirror.
So you can't really get them So a folk remedy, and this is with this same belief system, this is an American belief, that the mirror should be placed so that it faces outward towards a door or window. The reasoning behind this is if an unquiet spirit looks in the window or attempts to cross a door, it will see its own reflection and be scared away. Kind of like the jinn thing, you know?
Yeah.
Mirrors can also be closed as portals by rubbing the edges of them or washing the surface in holy water.
Oh.
So that's a Christian belief, I guess. When you get a mirror, you're supposed to wash it, I guess, cleanse it.
Huh.
Or, I don't know if people still do that. I do remember that religious people, particularly Christians, would take, particularly Catholics, they would take the little medals, you know, those little blessed medals from the saints and stuff, and they would put them in every window and every door before they finished building the house to bless the house and sanctify the house.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I remember that was like an old, and I believe that I think I was watching like a renovation of like an old house in like England, I think it was, and they were finding those little medals in the, in between the wood planks and stuff, and they were like tripping out on them. And they're like, oh yeah, I guess they used to do that back in the day.
Oh, that's interesting.
Now, this one is very interesting, baby, because this is my own research. I was watching a documentary on this, and this happened. In Mexican folklore, a curandero or a curandera can use a mirror ritual to detect if someone is possessed or being oppressed by an evil spirit or demon. What happened, and I don't remember what show it was, but I think she was a curandera. This person came in, this young girl. She was having all kinds of problems. She thought there was something wrong with her. She thought she was being possessed. She was hearing voices. She was seeing all kinds of crazy stuff. And all this bad stuff kept happening to her, like this inexplicable bad stuff. So she goes to this curandera and asks her for help. So she picks up a mirror, and a curandera's, it's in Spanish, it's like a healer, almost like a shaman, I guess is what you would call them. But there's people in Mexico that will go to a curandero or a curandera before they'll go to the hospital.
Right, before a doctor.
It's still very prominent. Yes. But anyway, she picks up this mirror, says some words, like a spell or whatever, or like a chant or a ritual or whatever, and she tells the girl, look in the mirror. And when she did, she saw a hideous face looking back at her.
Wow.
And the girl went, oh, and, made this noise, like cried out in fear. And she goes, oh, well, then you're possessed. You need to you need to be cleansed, Yeah. So that's how she detected the demon in the mirror.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. Chinese feng shui. Now, if you notice, baby, we're going Greek, we're going American,
Mexico.
We're going Mexico, we're going Chinese, Persia, Muslims, we're going all over, baby.
Yeah,
again,
around the world.
This is this variance I was talking about that just fascinates me.
Yeah.
In feng shui, baby, don't face the mirror towards the front door because it would reflect good energy out. So it's opposite of what some people believe. Remember, they say you should put a mirror towards the door because that keeps the evil spirits out. But in feng shui, they say, no, don't do that because you're reflecting the good energy out. Don't reflect the bed in the mirror. This is still feng shui. Don't reflect the bed in the mirror because it could disrupt active energy and interrupt your sleep. Facing a mirror toward the stove can double one's workload and create disharmony since the stove is a symbol of wealth. I don't know where the Chinese got that, but apparently in feng shui, the stove is a symbol of wealth. And if you put a mirror toward it, you can actually make yourself work harder and it'll affect your money. Putting a mirror above the fireplace causes disharmony between the fire element and the fire element of the fireplace and the water element of the mirror. Placing a mirror above a sofa causes too much active energy, referring to yang energy, which is bright, warm, and energized. It is represented by the fire element and concepts like natural sunlight and vibrant colors. So in other words, if you put a mirror by that fire element, again, you cause like a clash. You're going against the yin and the yang energies according to feng shui.
That's interesting.
So even the Chinese have their beliefs with mirrors.
Right.
And this is just another one of my thoughts, baby. Do you remember where they used to build like the little miniature towns and stuff? They still do, I believe.
Yeah.
But anyway, I remember in those miniatures, they would use little mirrors to signify water.
Oh, yes.
Like if it was like a skating rink or
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
they'd have
yeah,
a mirror
yeah,
and they'd
yeah,
have
yeah.
like little miniature skating on the top of
Yeah.
it. Do you remember that?
Yes.
I just thought that was fascinating because it's the reflective part of water.
Right.
Because there's also water scrying and all kinds of stuff that, not just mirrors, baby. This is just mostly the mirror stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of this stuff is also done with water.
Right.
It's any reflective surface.
Well, that's probably where we got the idea to have a mirror is from the water.
Yeah, from seeing yourself in the
You
water.
see the reflection on the water.
Yeah. Oh, and then, well, let's keep going because I don't know if I remember you asked me a question when I told you we were doing the show, and I found the answer, but I don't remember if I put it in my notes. So I'm gonna have to try to
Okay.
get you to remind me
Okay.
at the end before we get to the conclusions. Pythagoras, and this is the Pythagoras from Pythagoras' theorem. Anybody that's a math, that's done math in high school knows who Pythagoras is. He was said to have a magic mirror that he would hold up to the moon and he could see the future in it. Never heard of that, but during my research I ran across that.
That's interesting.
The Romans, the ancient Romans, baby, now we're back to Italy, people that were skilled in mirror reading had their own name. They were called the speculari.
Wow.
That's crazy when you think about it because it was an occupation back then,
Yeah.
which is mirror reading.
Yeah.
That's an occupation.
Yeah.
But moving on. In Vodun, and that's just another word for voodoo. In voodoo, a mirror is called a minore and is only usable by priests. The minore is consecrated to be used for divination. So they'll look into the mirror and they'll try to see into the future, certain people's futures, or the priest's own future
Yeah.
using mirrors. So this is Haitian.
Yeah.
Now we're back to the Caribbean.
Yeah. We're going everywhere.
We're going all over the world, baby.
Yeah.
Visualizing a person, and this is European belief, visualize a person in a magical mirror enables contact. The scryer can then go to the astral plane and communicate with the dead. This was the belief system. The living can be contacted through the mirror as well, kind of like FaceTime, I guess.
Yeah.
With the scryer visualizing the person intensely until they seem to be drawn out of the mirror. That was the folklore of some parts of Europe.
Wow.
In many cultures, mirrors were viewed as thin places or doorways through which spirits, demons, or souls could enter or exit the physical world. We were talking about that earlier. That's what basically the same thing that feng shui believes, that that crossing of energy, of the clashing of energy, the portals, seeing people through the mirror, being able to communicate with people through the mirrors, souls getting trapped in the mirrors. It's just this circle of these beliefs
Yeah.
that all have this in common, and that just fascinates me.
Yeah.
The belief that vampires cannot be reflected in a mirror comes from the idea that mirrors capture the soul, and vampires are thought to lack a soul. Now, you mentioned that it had something to do with the silver.
Because the mirrors were created with silver, so therefore silver, is like kryptonite to
See, I
vampires.
thought silver was werewolves, though. I didn't think it had
I thought
anything-
so too. But somebody told me that, so I don't know.
It might be a...
I didn't look it up, but
Yeah, it might be. Well, it might be a folklore or
Yeah.
myth in their belief,
Yeah.
wherever that person's from.
yeah.
And this is a perfect time, baby, to get back to where I told you to remind me about. We got into a discussion because I didn't believe that mirrors were made out of silver anymore.
Correct.
But if you remember, they are.
Yeah.
They are still made out of silver. They just use silver nitrate.
Yeah.
And it's like I think it's like a compound of silver, which makes it a lot cheaper. Because back in the day, it was like pure silver, which today would be. I think that's why antique mirrors are so expensive,
Yes.
because it has the silver in it or
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
And then plus they made like some of them out of silver. So
Yeah. And they probably use that nitrate because the mirrors are mass produced now. Because I mean, even like now, women carry a compact all the time, or mirrors come with makeup all the time. Like the smallest mirror with the eyeshadow, just has tiny little mirrors.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't use compacts. That's what it's called, right? A compact?
Yeah, compact mirror.
Women will actually save the mirror on a compact that's out of makeup, because it's usually the blush or
Yes.
what do you call it?
It's usually foundation powder.
Okay. Some women will save the mirror because that mirror is better than other mirrors and other compacts.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Because I think sometimes those mirrors are like kind of magnifying. So like if you're working on your eyeshadow or eyeliner,
So it zooms in.
it
better.
zooms in. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember my mom used to get angry at us because we'd find her makeup case and there's no makeup in it, so we'd just grab the mirror, and she'd get so mad at us. What did you take my mirror for? We thought it was broken. We thought she wasn't using it anymore, but
No, those once you get a good one,
Yeah.
those are priceless.
that's what she said. She said it's hard to find another mirror, and you guys ruined it because I don't remember what we were using it for. Who knows? The four of us, who knows? But anyway, getting to the favorite part.
Yes.
Bloody Mary, baby.
Play ominous music.
I looked it up. It's believed. This is an urban legend, and before we go into the folklore of it, let's just go into because there's different versions of it.
Right.
I'm going to tell you my version and see how similar it is to yours.
Okay.
Usually it's done when there's people over at the house. You have visitors, right? It's like a sleepover,
Yeah.
a party, or whatever. You go into a dark bathroom with a small light, like a lighter or a candle. Stand in front of the mirror. You have to be by yourself. Sometimes there's more people in there, but you're supposed to do it by yourself. And you repeat the name Bloody Mary 3 times while looking into the mirror. And then something's supposed to happen. Either she shows up in the mirror and you see this horrible, bloody, ugly, hideous face looking back at you, or it will come out of the mirror, or you'll hear a scream, or it'll talk to you, etc., etc.
Correct.
Is that...
Ours was, we didn't bring a light in the bathroom. And we didn't do it by ourselves. It was always like 2 people.
And it was...
And you said it 3 times. You said Bloody Mary 3 times.
But how could you see in the mirror if you didn't have a light?
I don't know.
Wow. Okay. Oh, would you use like a hall light, or did you leave the bathroom light on?
No, we didn't bring it. No, but I remember like one bathroom had a window in it.
Oh, so you just used the...
Yeah.
Like the light from... so you did it like in the evening time, so it
Yeah.
was dim in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it has to be dim.
It
I
has to
remember
be-
that.
Yeah.
And I found out later, I was doing this, I was listening to another podcast, and there was a guy that was supposed to be some Satanist and some, the whole Luciferian thing going on and all that. That I believe is why they're trying to push the satanic panic to suppress all the stuff that was going on then that's still going on today. But anyway, he said that was one of the tests he had to do to become higher ranked in this organization, was that he was supposed to go home and look in the mirror and say like something in Latin, like some recital or some spell, and if he saw a face, and if anything happened, he was supposed to come back and tell him, and he saw this weird face like peeking over the edge. All he saw was the eyes, top of the head and the eyes coming up like it was peeking at him from the mirror, and it scared the living crap out of him, which of course it would.
Yes.
Because he was just holding a candle, the bathroom was dim, that would have just
Yeah.
But that was his initiation into this cult or whatever. But anyway, I don't want to get off
That's
from...
crazy.
Going back to Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary is believed to be linked back to the Queen of England. The Queen of England, back in the day, earned that nickname because she prosecuted so many Protestants, for heresy,
Yes.
and executed them, so they called her Bloody Mary, which is pretty crazy. I didn't know that. But that's not the only reference. It's also been linked to scrying, where young women could possibly predict the future or see the face of their future betrothed.
Oh, interesting.
So it was like a girl thing. Girls would do it.
Yeah.
Not boys weren't supposed to do it, I guess. It just became boys were included later.
Right.
But initially, back in the day, it was just girls would do it, and that's why they would do it. They were trying to use the mirror for divination.
Oh.
And I don't know where Bloody Mary came into that, but that's basically what it was. Also, it has been theorized, and I don't know who this guy is. I guess he's an author or something. But he theorized that it could have something to do, that the whole Bloody Mary thing is like a metaphor for menstruation.
Oh.
And that's where the young girls will go into the bathroom together, the nearing puberty, nearing that time,
Yeah.
and it was like a initiation into womanhood.
Yeah.
And that's why the girls would go into the bathroom, and that's where it became this urban legend of Bloody Mary.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's just the theory anyway. I don't know. I mean, that sounds pretty legitimate, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, that pretty much does it, baby. So, in conclusion, baby, what do you think about the mirror thing?
I'm very fascinated that mirrors have been around for so long.
Thousands of years.
Yeah, I'm very fascinated about that because I thought like the mirrors are around like 1600, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because I remember I still love like the old ones, the old hand mirrors.
Oh yeah, the antique ones.
Beautiful antique ones.
Yeah.
And I always, as a little girl, I always wanted one because I thought they were just so beautiful, and I just thought that like every woman probably has one of those and you know. But and I'm very fascinated of all the different cultures have either folklore or superstitions about mirrors. But it always amazes me how us humans have created something, and where did we get the idea? You know?
I don't know.
Where did we get the idea?
Somebody was polishing a pot and went,
or,
hey!
Yeah, or looking at water.
If I polish it enough, it gets shiny.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and then they put the glass over it
Right.
so that you could clean it better. It's just crazy. So your conclusion is basically you're just fascinated by it. You don't really think do you think that there's anything that has to... What do you think of the beliefs? Do you think there's...
Oh, I'm sure some of those are very... I don't know how... I mean, I've done... When I was a kid, I did the Bloody Mary thing, but I don't really take much thought about it. About the how do you say it?
Divination.
Divination and all that.
See, my conclusion is different than yours because I am of the belief that the reason people don't use water and mirrors for divination anymore is because it's changed. It hasn't gone away. There's still the astrology, you know, where you could read your astrology thing, you know, that's right. Astrology, right?
Yeah, your sign.
Yeah, your sign.
Yeah.
And you can read what's going to happen in your horoscope. There you go. Perfect. There's still that.
Yeah.
Those are still around.
Yeah.
There's still fortune tellers. There's still palm readers. There's still, I believe there's still psychic hotlines where you can call somebody and ask them for advice and stuff.
You probably have that like an internet thing going on now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's still around. It's on the down low. It's not mainstream.
Right.
But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about it's changed. Divination has changed into computers. We use algorithms now, baby. Safety departments in big companies actually use AI cameras now in big companies. And this isn't like your supervisor noticing something that you're doing something unsafe because the cameras do detect that stuff. No, it's way in depth than that, baby. It will actually, the cameras will zoom in on your face and it'll watch your eye reaction time. And if your time is low, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
And the camera will alert the safety department so they can come have a talk with you to prevent you from getting an accident. Yeah. Another thing, it'll see how often you're yawning. If you're yawning too much, if you're leaning on stuff too much, if it detects you nodding off, stuff like this.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's a form of divination because they're trying to prevent an accident from happening.
Prevent something.
I remember there was some kind of algorithm that they use for statistics as well, baby. Not even cameras or anything like that. I remember I was listening to the confessionals with Tony Merkel, and this was years ago because he was still driving a truck. I don't know if he's driving a truck anymore. I haven't listened to the confessionals in a while. I'm ashamed to admit. But he was telling a story where this guy from, I think it was either his supervisor or one of the safety officers came and talked to him and said, hey, it was snowing real bad.
Yeah.
And they said, hey, you need to be particularly careful. Your name came up on an accident report. And Merkel's like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Yeah. You're statistically, you're due for an accident. So be extra careful. So now he's freaking out. He's being all extra.
Right,
He's trying to get an accident, right?
Put that.
Because they put it in his head.
Yeah,
And
put it on
sure
your
enough,
head.
baby, he's backing into a space. Mm-hmm. His trailer starts to slide and bumps into like a pole that was there.
Yeah.
And did a little bit of damage to the trailer or something. I can't remember the exact story, but... And he was tripping out because it was either the same day or within like a day or two of when that guy told him he was going to get in an accident.
Wow.
The computer predicted him getting in an accident just by using statistics.
Wow,
Because of the number of miles he had driven safe, you know, the time of, you know, well, maybe it was detecting how much sleep he was getting. I don't know, baby.
Wow.
But the computer spit it out and said, hey, he's going to get in an accident. You need to watch him. And the safety department did.
Wow.
So it hasn't gone away, baby. It's just changed.
It's just modernized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that about does it, baby.
All right. That was a good show.
Yeah.
Mirrors.
Who would have figured?
Yeah. Well, everybody, thank you for listening. If you guys, we're still taking stories for the Halloween special, so send them in. That's coming up soon. Thank you for listening. Good night.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, if we get too many stories, we're pretty much full right now, but if we get a few more, we'll just do a part 2. So, you know, if you have any stories you want to send us, just send us an email, write an email, and we'll talk about it on the show. And for all of our veterans and our first responders and our military that are serving right now, God be with you and your family, and thank you for your service. Good night, everybody.